Welcome to Destiny Quest. We are going to play quest. The Curse of Crow Rock. It is quite an extensive quest with many points, so likely this will be several videos. I'll try to keep it short. 19 is to start with. To recapitulate, 19 is a very short distance from the hub. This is the town where you start after some story that explains why you are a prophet, and well, you try to gain some items and experience and explore the land. So 19 is the starting point. Now 19. Quest: The Curse of Crow Rock. The narrow street lurches dizzily from side to side, forcing you to cling to the nearest wall. You feel sick, every inch of your body burning as if on fire. Sweat stings your eyes, your head pulsing with pain. The guards thought you were just another drunk thrown out onto the streets at closing time. But a passing pilgrim had taken pity on you, giving you directions to the local apothecary. Letting go of the wall, you stagger onwards up the street. You focus on the lanterns hanging either side of a wooden door, its surface daubed with the symbol of a bottle. A carriage rattles past, pulled by a team of horses. Their clattering hoofs are loud as thunder in your ears. You cover them with your hands, stumbling dazedly towards the door. Several times you lose your footing and fall painfully to your knees. But you manage to drag yourself up, determined to find a cure for your malady. Elysium, you know that your body is craving more. You raise a trembling hand and knock on the door. There is a painful wait, while you hug your cramping stomach, teeth grinding noisily together. From inside you hear muttering, then a catch is being released. The door creaks open far enough to reveal a woman's face. She is elderly, with tousled grey hair spilling out of a white bonnet. A small pair of spectacles rests on the end of her nose. After taking one look at you, she opens the door wide and gestures for you to enter. The room is small and filled with various bottles and pots. Before you can speak, the woman is already moving toward a side room. What is it? She asks hurriedly. I doubt I can help you. Elysium, you croak, closing your eyes as the room tips wildly. The healer freezes mid-step, glancing back at you with a frown. It's a long story, you wheeze, forcing back another wave of nausea. Please, I need your help. Indeed, the woman gestures for you to follow. My name is Anna. This way, please. You follow her into a dimly lit room cut from the grey rock of Carvel's hillside. As you no doubt remember, this is Carvel, and this is the hillside, so this is a rock. It's also called Crow Rock. A pallet bed rests against one wall, where a male patient lies on sweat-soaked sheets. He squirms in a feverish delirium. The rest of the room is dominated by a wooden table covered in more bottles and containers. A curtain divides this room from another area, where you glimpse a stack of crates piled high to the ceiling. Each one has the symbol of a rose stamped on the side. Anna is already selecting various bottles from her collection. Elysium is very rare and very expensive. Did you expect me to just have some lying around? The rest You rest your back against the wall, touching your arms to stop them shaking. I had no other choice. The woman adds a series of fine powders to a trestle bowl. I don't need to ask how you came in contact with such a devilish concoction. After crushing another ingredient with a mortar, she mixes the parts together before pouring them into a bottle and adding a green-tinged liquid. You know, these ingredients aren't cheap. Anna shakes the bottle, watching as the contents dissolve. One of these powders alone is 500 gold crowns. You balk. I can't pay you. I... Feebly, you try and locate your money pouch, hands grappling at your belt. At this point, you certainly don't have 500 gold. The woman watches and shakes her head. Enough! I knew you would not have the funds, so you can do me a favor instead. Agreed? She raises the bottle, which now contains a bubbling pale green potion. This is not Elysium, but it is the next best thing. It will relieve your symptoms, your addiction. This potion is your true freedom. I'll do whatever you ask, you croak, reaching for it. Please! Anna hands you the potion and watches intently while you drink its contents. The liquid tastes like sour apples with a hint of cinnamon. Once you have emptied the bottle, you feel your temperature starting to subside, and the room has stopped spinning. Good, smiles Anna, taking the bottle from you. Now, you're going to repay me by helping this man. She nods to the patient, who is tossing and turning, gripped in a fevered nightmare. You couldn't cure him? You asked, surprised. I need something first. Her eyes wander to an object lying on the table. It looks like a charred and blackened piece of wood. Will you? Ask about the patient. Ask about the strange object. Or ask about the crates in the other room. Okay. What was I doing then? Doesn't really matter. Ask about the patient. I think that's mostly to the point. 115. So what about the patient? He is known in these parts as Yolanda, an assassin, a sword for hire. Anna takes an oil lamp from the table and holds it closer to the man's face. You notice white scars cutting vivid lines across his cheeks and chin. This man is a thief and a murderer. You step away, momentarily startled. This is an assassin, and you would have me help him? Why? Anna places the lamp by the bedside. He was doing a job for the Wiccans. I made the contact myself. She glances at you, nervously gauging your reaction. I happen to believe in their cause, as do many others in Carvel. You shrug your shoulders. You helped me, that is all that matters. Anna nods. That is good. I am putting a lot of trust in you. Okay, then ask what you need to do. 130. So what do I need to do, Anna? This man, Yolanda, is the best in his field. He was contracted for a job, and it went wrong. Anna's fingers brush against the set of daggers resting at the foot of the bed, half wrapped in black cloth. An assassin, you murder beneath your breath. This wasn't about murder. He was retrieving an object from the church, an ancient dwarven relic that was found out on the moors. So, what happened? Anna takes one of her mixing spoons and uses it to prod the charred wood on the table. I don't know for certain. He came to me much as you did, feverish and delirious. He was clutching this part of a charm. I believe it's responsible for his condition. You grimace at the blackened wood. So where do I come in? Anna turns to a side table, covered in sheets of parchment. She takes a quill and begins making marks on one of the pages. I'll keep this simple. I need you to go to Crow Rock and kill a manticore. Her hand makes another series of scrolls on a page. I need its blood to break the curse. You snort, shaking your head in disbelief. Kill a manticore? Why not throw in a dragon too? Make it a little more challenging. Anna snatches up the paper and hands it over. This is not a time for humor. You take the parchment and hold it closer to the lantern light. The scrolls form a map, showing a route from Carvel to a series of rocks to the southeast, as we saw on the map. You look up, realization dawning on you that she is being perfectly serious. Manticores are savage, bloodthirsty predators, known for preying on humans and other large animals. You owe me, says Anna, as if reading your thoughts, and I need its blood. Oh, I am manticore, you ask, folding the paper and sliding it into your back. The man gives a sudden cry as he twists and turns on the bed, his fingers forming claws as they fend off some unseen nightmarish foe. Manticore's blood was one of the reagents used to craft that charm, explains Anna. She takes a glass vial from the table and hands it to you. Whoever made it was serious about doing harm, and I doubt anyone in the church could have made such a thing. The vial is attached to a silver chain. You lift it over your head, letting it rest against your chest. I'll do what I can, I promise. Anna peers over her glasses. I know you will. After bidding the healer farewell, you head out of Carvel, its cobbled streets glimmering in the first light of dawn. Turn to 150. So, I really enjoy the text. And if you don't, well, the game is not for you. The sky is bright and cloudless as you head briskly across the moors, aware that Yolanda's life is in the balance. As you get nearer to the mountains, the ground becomes steeper, frost crunching underfoot as you find yourself entering a forest of pine and larch. You haven't ventured far before you hear a cry and a hollow thump of wood hitting wood. Drawing your weapons, you hurry through the trees, emerging on a rocky hillside. A man in fur-trimmed robes has his back against a tree, frantically fending off the attacks of some unusual creatures. They look like a haphazard clutter of twigs and branches melded together into a vaguely humanoid form. Their arms end in splintered points, almost like sword blades, which are punching and slashing through the air. The man sees you and calls over desperately as his staff swings in a wide arc, smashing one of the creatures through its midriff. Traveler, your aid! Without hesitation, you move to join the attack. So we have Sinister Bricks, Speed 0, Brawn 0, Armor 1, Health 12. And if you manage to help defeat these bewitched creatures, turn to 179. Yeah, let's do this. So I already gained some items, but you get the picture. Let's see. This is the part. Yeah, let's just write here. Speed 0, Brawn. Oh, wait. breadcrumbs. Speed 0, brawn 0, armor 1, health 12. And that's all you need to know. So this is the enemy. My is 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 3. 2, 3, 4. No, wait. Magic and armor. Speed is 2. Brawl is 3. Magic. It doesn't have magic. My magic is 4. And no, my armor is 3. And my health is 30. So let's roll some dice. I have a very ancient dice roller app. Where was it? RPG Simple Dice. This is such an old mobile. It's a KitKat operating system for Android. So this also runs on your microwave. So what we need is a D6, 2 D6s actually. Let's check how the combat went. The combat sequence. Roll 2 dice for your hero and add their current speed score to the total. This is your hero's attack speed. Roll another two dice for your opponent and add their speed score to the total. This is their attack speed. So you start with 2 dice, 2d6. So you say 2d6. Okay, it's a 3. That was me. So the speed here is so it's the hero, and my speed is 3, and the creature is a 6. My speed bonus is 2, so this becomes 5. And it's every time, so what I need is, well, it's the enemy's turn. This becomes 5, 6. It has a speed of 0, so it will attack, and it attacks with a 1d6. That's 3 points. You can perfectly see it. 3 points plus his brawn is 3. It will do damage to me against my armor of 3, so it will do 0 damage to me. Then another round starts. So we do 5 and 8. So I gain the initiative. I hope you can see it. I do d6 damage. Oh wait, 1d6 is 1. I do 1 damage. But I have a brawn of 3 and a might of 4. So I choose, of course, the might. So I do 5 damage. Because you either do brawn, so melee damage, or you do magic damage. The enemy always has just one of the two attributes, but you can build up your hero towards brawn or towards magic. And my magic is 4, so I do 5 damage. His armor is 1, so I do 4 damage. And the health of the enemy is 12, so it is 8. And my health is 30. Another round starts. 5 initiative and 8 initiative, so it's my turn again. I do 1d6 damage. That's 1. Plus the 4 is 5. And the armor of the enemy is 1, so it loses 4 health. Okay, so it lost here 4 health, lost here 4 health. So its health is now 4. Another round starts. 2d6, 8 and 7. So I win the combat. And I do 1d6 damage. That's 3 plus 4 is end of creature. Okay. So that is how all the combat goes. Pretty simple, and you can also almost do it in your head, at least for the simple encounters. So, where was I? Damn it. You also have really nice puzzles, and I never managed to solve this puzzle with Kindles and stuff. Shit, where was I? 133? Not yet. 150. Okay. The sky is bright and cloudless. Yeah. Sinister sprigs. Okay, we got rid of the sinister sprigs, so it's very fluid. If you manage to help defeat these bewitched creatures, turn to 179. So we now go to 179. The creatures confronting you are fast, deadlier than they first appear, but soon they fall to your attacks. Leaping over their splintered remains, you hurry to aid the beleaguered traveler. However, it appears he is now on top of the situation. Having fended off the remaining creatures with his staff, the man raises his palm and utters an arcane command. From his hand, a white light bursts forth, blinding and intense. There is an echoing crack of thunder. You stagger back, trying to blink through the bright after-image. When you finally are able to focus again, you see that the area around him is charred and blackened, as are the broken bodies of the strange woodland creatures. The man lowers his hand, which is still glowing with a faint residue of magic. "Thank the one God," he gasps, his shoulders slumping with exhaustion. He catches your eye and manages a crooked smile. "And thank you too. I thought I was a goner." He steps forward, offering you his hand. "I'm Benin," he grins. "Don't worry, you're perfectly safe to shake it." Mirroring his grin, you take his hand in friendship. "I wasn't expecting to run across anyone else in these woods," he says, sounding grateful for his change of fortune. And certainly not these. He kicks at the nearest pile of blackened wood. Will you? Ask Benin about his magic. Ask Benin what he is doing here. Examine the remains of the creatures. Or continue on your journey. Okay, what did I do? I chose examine the remains of the creatures. 133. What were they, you ask, rummaging through the charred remains of... Now, if you wish, you may now help yourself to one of the following items. Splintered claw, main hand, fist weapon, +1 brawn, +1 armor. Yeah... My cutthroat scarver was better. Warded wood. It's a ring, +1 brawn, +1 magic. I did take the warded wood. So it gave me a little bit of brawn and might. But the idea was... The battle was simple, and at least you saw the principle. Benin scowls as he prods at one of the tangled bodies with the end of his staff. Oh, it looks like Wiccan work to me. Old magic. Perhaps those savages are defending this area for some reason. Wanted to frighten off inquisitive travelers like ourselves. He lifts an eyebrow regarding you with a mischievous smile. Will you? Ask Benin about his magic. Ask Benin what it is doing here. Or continue on your journey. I chose... continue on your journey, I think. 157. Let's do this. These lands are not as safe as they once were, says Benin, resting his staff across his shoulder. May I suggest we travel together, at least for the time being. Where are you headed? Crow Rock, you reply, tugging the map from your back. Benin's eyes narrow suspiciously. Really? You know of it? You ask, noting his sudden change in manner. Oh, of course, he states briskly. He turns and points up the hillside to where a series of boulders mark the start of a steep expanse of rocky scree. When I was growing up, the children used to dare each other to touch the rock. Why? What's so special about it? You ask, shielding your eyes against the brightening sun. Oh, you'll see. With a smirk, Benin starts up the rock-strewn slope. You fall into step behind him, not entirely sure if you trust this strange traveler. Turn to 169. Let's do this. The journey becomes an exhausting climb over jumbled boulders and loose scattering rock. With your map forgotten, you rely on Benin to lead the way through the makeshift valleys and channels, ascending ever higher into the cloud-tipped mountains. At last, after clambering up yet another treacherous slope, you spy Crow Rock. It is an unmistakable landmark, a huge outcropping of grey limestone that has been weathered by the elements to take on the hunched shape of a brooding crow. Silhouetted against the sky, it looks almost lifelike, as if at any moment it might take to the air, cawing and screeching across the plains. Now, do you see? Asks Benin grimly. This place has long been revered by the Wiccan. As children, we believed that the crow was real, that it came alive at night and hunted for prey. He shivers, gripping his staff tighter. I suppose the legend does have a hint of truth. You follow Benin towards the rock. Beneath it, you can see the land falling away in a hollow canyon. It is then that the stench hits you. Oh, a monster has made its home here, but it is no stone crawl. Benin grimaces with disgust. And I suspect that that's why you have come to Crow Rock, as have I.